You have a 3D scene, but it needs a 3D camera. You'll add a camera when you create the first text element. Press the Home key or move the current time indicator to the beginning of the time ruler. With the 3D camera tracker effect selected in the Effect and Controls panel, in the Composition panel, hover the cursor over the water next to the large rocks until you see the displayed target. If you don't see the track points and target, make sure you click the 3D camera tracker effect in the Effect Controls panel to make it active. When you hover the cursor between 3 or more neighboring track points, that can define a plane. A semi-transparent triangle appears between the points, and additionally, a red target shows the orientation of the plane in 3D space. Right-click on Windows or Control-click on a Mac on the plane and choose Set Ground Plane and Origin. The ground plane and origin provide a reference point, setting a point where the coordinates are 0, 0, 0. Though nothing appears to change in the Composition panel using the active camera view, the ground plane and origin make it easier to change the camera's rotation and position. Right-click on Windows or Control-click on a Mac on the same plane and choose Create Text and Camera. After Effects displays a large text item laying flat in the Composition panel. It also adds 2 layers to the Timeline panel, Text and 3D Tracker Camera. The 3D switch is enabled for the text layer, but the shoreline.mov layer remains 2D. Because the text elements are the only ones that need to be positioned in 3D space, there's no reason to make the background footage layer a 3D layer. Move the current time indicator along the time ruler. The text remains in position, tracking with the camera. Return the current time indicator to the beginning of the time ruler. Double-click the text layer in the Timeline panel to open the Character panel in the stacked panels on the right. In the Character panel, change the font to Impact Regular. Change the font size to 48 pixels. Set the stroke width to 0.5 pixels. Change the stroke type to Stroke over Fill. Make sure the fill color is white and the stroke color is black, which are the default colors. And make sure that tracking is set to 0. Select the text layer in the Timeline panel to exit text editing mode. Then press the R key to display the rotation property for the layer, and then change the orientation values to 12, 30, and 350 degrees. Any new 3D layer you create uses the ground plane and origin to orient the layer in the scene. When you change the orientation values, the text changes its orientation in space. Double-click the text layer in the Timeline panel to make it active in the Composition panel. When the text is editable, it appears to have a light red mask surrounding it. With the text selected in the Composition panel, type "the other guys" in all caps to replace it. Then select the Other Guys layer to exit text editing mode. So far so good, but you want the text to be centered in the scene. So you'll reposition the text. Press P to display the position property for the text layer. Using the selection tool, drag the text up the screen so that it's over the water, or you can type -6270, -1740, and 1188. If the text stays in the same position, it won't be visible as the camera moves away. You'll animate it to remain visible a bit longer. In its new position, if the text itself seems small, feel free to resize it now. Click the stopwatch icon to create an initial keyframe for the position property. Go to 203 and change the position property to -7115, 1800, and -1150. You can also use the selection and rotation tools to reposition it. Manually scroll through the timeline to preview the text, then close any open properties and choose File and Save to save your work so far.